Hi everybody, thank you for joining me today. Today I'm going to talk more about my health and wellness journal. I've done a couple of videos on it already, including the video for my Enneagram, and I've shared some layouts on social media, but I thought I would talk more about it in this video. Now, for my health and wellness journal, I'm using my Archer and Olive Neapolitan dark red notebook. It's the notebook with the different colors, the craft, blackout, and the white pages. And because my journal's white, I got this really cool cover, and it's actually super distracting, but it's really pretty. And I'm glad I have it because I decided to do stamping in this journal. So a white cover with stamping, that's just a bad idea all around. So I've shared my intro page, cover page, I've shared my Enneagram test. I'll link that up above in the cards so that you can take a look and see. Now this is the part, I've shared the pictures on social media, but I haven't shared it here or what I'm doing. So I decided to do some work on my word of the year, which for 2021 is patience. And I laid out the definition, the synonyms. I picked out the synonyms and did calligraphy for the words that stood out the most to me. And then I did my why, as well as lettering a quote. Now, back in 2018, I did One Little Word with Ali Edwards, and she runs the course every year, but I'm just picking and choosing out of that what I like to do. I know there's some pins on Instagram as well that you can get some ideas for how to work with your word of the year, or you can check out Ali Edwards' blog as well. So on the next page, I decided to do a layout of things I'm letting go of. So self-doubt, the idea of what's considered normal, staying inside my comfort zone, trying to control everything, and then doing what I think other people want me to do. These are things that really weigh on me quite a bit, especially this one. In my past, I was an accountant working for a corporation, and so I'm very used to the idea of Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. And of course, what I'm doing now isn't Monday to Friday, and it isn't 9 to 5. And it makes me a bit uncomfortable, obviously, but I'm trying to let go of that and embrace the opportunities that I'm being given and that are presenting themselves to me, and deciding what works for me and what doesn't. So it's actually been a really great process to go through. Staying inside my comfort zone, I'm very much what makes me comfortable. If I feel even remotely uncomfortable, I tend to start getting anxious, and this whole spiral of bad behavior in terms of overeating, overspending, like it's all kind of tied together. So basically what the rest of this is going to be is working to push myself and experience new things without going down this rabbit hole of nonsense of overeating and overspending. So this is a page I threw together. It was kind of tough to decide what to do on these transition pages, but this page I'm going to use to write down what I want. Now, if you get my newsletter, I explained a little bit more about what was going on with me in there, but I tend to not write down what I want or believe in what I want because there's just more opportunity for disappointment. And my default emotion is anger. And so I'm trying to work through that to actually feel disappointment and experience disappointment without just reverting back to anger. So on this page, I'm actually going to write down what it is I want. And I know that sounds really simple, but I mean, I work hard for what I want. But I don't really acknowledge to myself exactly what it is that I want. So this is what this page is going to be for. Then I have my healthy eating, and in these pages I have the food group lists from the plan that I'm following. And then here I'm going to write down my favorite recipes and where they come from. And then some healthy treat ideas. I have actually not been working very hard on my healthy eating. So these pages are a little bare right now, but I'm now working on myself to actually start incorporating meal plans and exercise and stuff like that. So I stamped down my date, May 31st, 2021. So you guys, like, this video hasn't been sitting in drafts. Like, this is brand new. And then I have planned out my meal plan. And these go back to reference back to the food list, so the yellow, green, and the red, and what those foods had. I'm trying to obviously limit my red foods, not cut them out completely, just limit them, and then increase the amount of yellow food I eat. I actually don't eat that much yellow, so that's kind of my goal there. And what I did was I stamped out for the rest of these pages. And after the 4th week, I have a check-in where I'm going to write the date of my check-in, what I found worked, what didn't, and then what I'm going to let go of. And then I have my work it page, which is my workout, and general notes. As I mentioned, the eating plan I'm following has notes that you can take or whatnot. So I'm going to be incorporating that into my workout section. So I have my why and my long-term goals, which I'll be filling in probably after this video. I'm a little self-conscious. And this is my weight loss tracker. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fill out my current weight, and this little box is going to be for the dates that I weighed in. So again, little self-conscious, but I'll be filling those in. And then these are my rewards. So social rewards, which 2020 wasn't really a thing, but hopefully now soon we can start looking at the social rewards. The self-care rewards. So for example, I'm going to start including manicures, pedicures, just little things like that for hitting my milestones and my goals. I'm gonna come up with some more. There are a couple more that I thought of that I could just do at home and was inexpensive. So I'll definitely share that with you when I have a chance to put that all together. And then you have tangible rewards and healthy rewards. So basically trying to steer you away from food as a reward. I'm excited about that. I actually have some idea for the tangible rewards. There's some makeup that I want. There's actually an ink set I want. I think that's gonna be my reward there. So here I have a list of workouts that I want to do. I've included the name, the length of the program, so whether it's 3 weeks, 9 weeks, whatever the case may be, and then the platform, so where you can find the workout, whether it's YouTube or Beachbody or Body Boss was a thing once, I guess, or if it's on TikTok, things like that. And then I have a notes page. So here are my measurements. This is going to be my before picture. Again, I'm self-conscious, so I'm not going to share that with you today, but that's for my before. And then these are my measurements down here. And then this will be my after. And then this is a cover page for the workout that I've chosen to do, which is kind of cool. The start will be the date I started and then the date I finish it. So this is my workout calendar. I've blanked out what it is, and then so week 3, phase 1, and then I have the different workouts with check boxes underneath them. And then this is where I will be recording my reps, my repetitions for the workouts. I've decided I need competition. I like competition. I thrive off of competition. And so writing down how I did should, in theory, help me compete with myself and do better. And then this is going to be a notes page. I haven't finished it yet. I haven't quite decided what to do with the transition pages yet. I think I'm going to do a summary page for the 3 weeks of the workouts that I've been doing. And on this page, I'm going to do a quote page. I haven't quite found one yet that I like, but again, I'll be sharing that on social media with you guys. And then this was a project I did as part of a different group. And this is an emotion wheel. And it was really fun to go through and figure out what emotions matter to me and what emotions present themselves more obviously. So the ones that stood out to me most were anger-based anxiety and fear-based anxiety. I've actually done a video on this, which I'll link up in the cards for you, and you can check that out. And so that's all I have for now. These following pages, I actually wanted to make some notes about procrastinating and where my procrastination stems from. I saw a really cool video that talked about procrastination as a means of avoiding disappointment. which sounds about right, because if you work really, really hard and you don't get it, okay, well, then that's disappointment and upsetting. But if you didn't work very hard in the first place, then it's like, okay, well, it's okay, I didn't get it because I didn't work very hard. Now, I didn't explain that properly. It's not that I don't work very hard, but it's kind of, you put off doing something because that way you're delaying any potential disappointment you could feel. It's a super negative way of looking at life, but I am going to work on it. So that's what that's about. And then as the journal goes on, the craft pages will be my meal planning, the black pages will be my exercise logs, and then the white pages will be my journaling and just recording of anything interesting. So that's kind of more information about how I'm using this journal. Archer and Olive has a program currently. It actually ran for the month of May, but you can still access it after the fact, and you still have access to the videos and the prompts and stuff. But it's called the And You program. And again, you start off with a personality test, and then you are put into a group, and then you do your journaling based on that. I got the program and I got the notebook, and it's something that I've wanted to start. Haven't had a chance yet, but I'm definitely going to get into that and take a look at that and see. I just feel like, especially with the pandemic, I've had a lot of time to reflect and feel and experience, and it's been hard because you're stuck in your own head. I'm a very social, outgoing person, and I get my energy from others, and having to have had generate my energy from myself has been very trying and exhausting, and I've had a lot of time to reflect on a lot of things, and so this has been a really great outlet for me. Creative planning has always been a great outlet for me, but you know, even with creative planning, you can kind of hide behind the art. But when you, for example, this wheel, it's more than just the art. It makes you think, it makes you research and look and decide what's important and actually deal with what's going on. So yeah, I really enjoyed this project actually. So I'm hoping to find more like this and incorporate more like this. I'm really excited to have this outlet, and I feel really lucky to have this outlet. I hope you found this video interesting. I hope it inspired you to come up with ideas for layouts in your own bullet journal, whether it's a full bullet journal dedicated to this, or if it's just, you know, a letting go of spread that you do for the month. So for the month of June or July, or what are you going to work on letting go of? So yeah, it's been, like I said, it's been a great outlet, and I hope you got some ideas or you enjoyed the video. Just looking at the pretty pages. As always, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for your time. If you have any questions or comments, please don't hesitate to leave them down below. I will be posting pictures on my blog, so you can go check out my blog post. And as always, thank you very much for being here. I really appreciate it.